Special good evening to our viewers in the American West tonight. A short time ago in Washington, the President of the United States put the power and prestige of his office on the line. He used a very powerful venue, the U.S. Capitol, to try to push through a big idea that does not have the support of all Americans or all members of Congress. This was the last push for health care reform. And after losing control of his own message for a period of time this summer, tonight, the president decided it was time to hit back. He extended an open hand to the other side, but he also used a rhetorical club to try to push and shame the nation and the Congress into moving to ensure millions of our fellow citizens. NBC News White House correspondent Savannah Guthrie has a complete review of the speech tonight from start to finish. To start off our broadcast, Savannah, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Well, the president started by noting what a heavy lift this is, recalling that for decades, presidents had tried and failed to get health care reform done.
I am not the first president to take up this cause, but I am determined to be the last.
Now, the president praised Congress for working diligently, saying this is the most progress that's been made ever before. But he also blasted what he called scare tactics and an overly politicized debate.
The time for bickering is over. The time for games has passed. Now is the season for action. Now is when we must bring the best ideas of both parties together and show the American people that we can still do what we were sent here to do. Now is the time to deliver on health care.
This is the most detailed we've seen the president on what he wants for health care reform. For one thing, he says it should have a price tag of $900 billion over 10 years and not add to the deficit. He says individuals will be required to get insurance like we are all required to get car insurance, but there will be subsidies for low-income folks. Employers would also be required to provide insurance, but again, subsidies, exceptions for small businesses who can't afford it. He talked about some of these insurance reforms he supports, for example, an end to the practice of insurance companies not allowing people who have pre-existing conditions. He also spent some time on what health care reform is not, debunking some popular myths, as he called it. In fact, those so-called death panels were debunked. And listen to what happened, kind of a remarkable moment inside the chamber tonight as he debunked another myth about illegal immigrants getting coverage. One of the congressmen, and it's being reported that it was Congressman Joe Wilson, a Republican of South Carolina, shouted during the president's speech, something that usually doesn't happen in this forum. Listen.
There are also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This, too, is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally. It's not true.
Well, the president was fiery at times, and it was clear he'll be taking a newly aggressive stance against opponents.
I will not waste time with those who have made the calculation that it's better politics to kill this plan than to improve it. If you misrepresent what's in this plan, we will call you out. And I will not accept the status quo as a solution. Not this time. Not now.
And there was a poignant moment in the chamber tonight. The president invoked former Senator Ted Kennedy, who called health care the cause of his life. His widow, Vicki Kennedy, was there tonight, seated with the First Lady. She openly had tears in her eyes as the president spoke at length about Senator Kennedy and used him to call for a spirit of bipartisanship in the Congress. That work begins tomorrow. Brian?
All right, Savannah Guthrie on the White House lawn for us tonight. Savannah, thanks.